Hi, folks. Welcome to episode 144 of the Wealth on Any Income podcast. This is where we talk about money, tips, techniques, attitudes, information, and provide inspiration around your business and your money. I'm your host, Rennie Gabriel. In past episodes, we spoke about how to understand the numbers from your business, how to measure the level of pleasure based on where you spend your money, how to track your money in 5 to 10 seconds, what determines how close you are to complete financial choice, and how to run your business without being in your business. And last week, we had Katrina Sawa, who's been helping entrepreneurs create consistent money-making businesses for the last 23 years. Today, we have as our guest, Joel Salomon. As the manager of a $700 million portfolio and the creator of his own successful hedge fund, he is also the author of 3 best-selling books on money. Joel is now a finance and mindful money expert and master prosperity coach who helps others overcome the obstacles standing in the way of their financial freedom. He's an award-winning TEDx speaker, workshop facilitator, and frequent television and podcast guest who's been quoted in the Wall Street Journal and other media. Just as he teaches in his books and seminars, the true foundation of wealth and financial freedom is a mindset of abundance, self-worth, gratitude, love, and service. Joel, welcome to the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Rennie. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm truly an honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I've got an idea from the bio, and other people do, from what you're doing, but tell me why you're doing what you're doing.
Yes, great question. So a lot of people ask me that because my dream in 1993 was to be a hedge fund manager, to be a money manager. I actually was doing it in the evenings and weekends, picking stocks, and I achieved my dream. And then 3 years later, I shut it down. And the reason was because I went to a personal development course, and 2 things happened there that completely changed my life. First, we had a guest speaker speaking about stocks and stock options. And when he spoke about options in particular, he made it sound easy. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich. And options are essentially risk-free. And I was sick to my stomach. This was day 2 of the conference. So I had people tapping me on the shoulder, whispering in my ear, Joel, does this make sense? Are options really risk-free? So we went out of the auditorium. I told them, please don't do this. He doesn't know any of you individually. And most importantly, he doesn't know your belief that you can become rich using options. And of course, options are not risk-free. So the second thing that happened at that course was we were given a wooden board 2 inches thick, and we were told we're going to break it with our bare hand. I don't know if you've done that, Rennie, but there was a lot of fear in the room. The exercise was called Obstacles Are Illusions. On one side of the board, we had write our biggest goal, and on the other side, our biggest challenge. And so the goal stumped me for a while. And then it hit me. Make everyone in this room financially free. Make everyone in this room financially free. And I broke that board like everyone else did in the room. I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. It was 3:30, 4 in the morning. First, the guy was in my head.
Yeah.
And I realized if I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage, see, my biggest fear in life that day was public speaking. I could actually be authentic, tell people the truth about money, and be of service. And then the second thing going on in my head at 4:30 in the morning was that wooden board staring back at me. Make everyone in this room financially free. I think it hit me at 4:30. I jumped out of bed. I quickly got dressed. I was in Manhattan before the sun rose, and I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose on this earth. It took me 50 years, but I got there.
That's a big step. And it's funny too, because we do covered call option writing on our portfolio to generate income. And it's done by our money manager. and doesn't take a little time. He's only spending 4 to 6 hours every single day on the computer doing the trading, making $300 here, $500 there, $47. I mean, it adds up to tens of thousands a month. But the point is, it does take time. And he's also got 30 years of experience. So, it's not risk-free. Sometimes the stock is taken away from us. But the point is, we are generating a solid income each and every month. But I'm not doing it.
Right. And what I teach is that out of the 200 people in the room, there might have been a few people that would get rich during stock options, but everyone has their own passion and interest. And if that's not an interest or passion of yours, I would recommend focusing on where your interest and passion lies. It could be real estate, it could be crypto, it could be your business. But what I teach is you can be prosperous and become prosperous and abundant in many different ways. And just because someone's up there teaching you that's the way they became rich doesn't mean that's the way you're going to become rich.
That is the best advice anyone can listen to. Let me get to the next question. As you're aware, I donate 100% of the profits from the work I do teaching other people to handle money powerfully. I donate to animal and veteran causes. Tell me what cause you support. And I happen to know you've set up a foundation. So that's really, that means you're really into it. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I did last year. It has been a dream of mine since a long time ago. And actually, I started teaching kids under 18 the truth about money, teaching them about how to become an entrepreneur, teaching them about financial literacy. Basically everything you teach is what I'm teaching to children under 18. And I started because I spoke at the Stanford Rotary Club, and there was a guy there who loved my presentation and said, "Would you be interested in speaking to kids?" He is the executive director of the Boy Scouts of America in Connecticut. And I said, this was a synchronicity. I'm like, this is what I've been thinking about for many years. And so we connected, and I started teaching at the Boys and Girls Club in Connecticut and Stanford. And I've spoken at the Girl Scouts because I figured, why should the Boy Scouts have all the fun?
Oh, yeah.
And so I reached out to a friend of mine who lives in Connecticut. Her daughter was in the Girl Scouts, got connected. And so I gave a presentation to the Girl Scouts conference in November of 2019. And I went again last year, hopefully get asked back again. And so I set up this foundation, this charity, in order to teach financial literacy to children under 18, starting out in the United States and then eventually globally, so that, I think the main reason why, we have a financial crisis here in the US and around the globe is because people aren't taught the truth about money. And if they could be taught early on about the techniques that and your attitudes, what is it, AFI, right? The attitude, the forms, and investing. If they can be taught that early on, then I think the crisis can be eliminated. And so, but the kids have to learn the truth about money early on, and they have to understand that it's good to be rich. And it's funny. I don't know if you saw my TED talk, but it's actually based on the idea that we are indoctrinated to believe it's better to be poor than to be wealthy. When you look at movies and TV shows and books and the scripture that people selectively hear. Yeah, so it's really crucial. And so far, if it's 39 states in the United States offer nothing in the way of any financial education for someone to graduate high school. Right. Nothing. Not how to write a check, not how to balance their checkbook, not how to do a cash flow statement or income and expense. None of that. I mean, it's the basics foundations, and it's missing from 30. And actually, the other 11 states, I don't know what's in that course curriculum. It's just that they require something to graduate. So I applaud you for what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you.
So, well, let me ask you this. Who is or are your target markets?
Well, my target market really is entrepreneurs who are not yet making a significant amount of income. And I've been able to help those people. And what I mean by significant is at least 20,000 US dollars a month, 250,000 a year. And I have this new fast track prosperity coaching program I started this year. And I'm really excited about it because I really didn't have any system. I know you've had a system for a while. I just put out my shingle, as you heard. I just shut it down, my hedge fund, and just said, okay, I'm going to help people. And I know I can do better than that guy. And so I would coach people for an hour, a week, or a month. Somebody wanted me for a long period of time. But now I have a 90-day program, and it's based on the proven techniques that have worked for others the last 6 years. And what I found also over the last 6 years is the entrepreneurs who are just starting out, or maybe have been in business 3, 5, 7 years, but not yet there in generating significant income. Those are the ones I've been able to help the most. So focus on the ones that I've been able to help the most and actually help them generate significant income. I'm most grateful is that I had one person go through this beta program the last few months, and she's tripled her monthly revenues compared to last year. But was even better and more heartwarming from that experience was that she's now able to talk to her former husband without having stress about the money situation, because their daughter is still in college and there's been some arguing and anger and upset. And so she actually put in a testimonial. And that was most heartwarming to me because I'm a divorced dad, and I went to a similar stuff, 12, 15 years ago. So easing that worry and that fear and that anxiety of having to have a conversation with your former spouse is most gratifying.
Oh, absolutely. And I used to own a book publishing company. We had about 80 titles in the bookstores. And the first book we published was called Couples and Money, which is the number one cause of divorce or arguments over money. Yep. So I get it. And what you just covered leads into my next question, which I think it does. And it's a two-part question. It's, when you look back, what would you say was your biggest failure, whether personal or business? And what insight did you gain from it, what you're doing with it?
Yeah, so my biggest failure, but I don't, what I tell my clients is that there are no failures. There are only lessons learned. So I would say this is a big lesson learned was my second divorce. It was 15 years ago, as I just mentioned. And, I will tell, I've said this before in public, my former wife is my greatest teacher. She's taught me about rejection, and I've learned to let go. I've learned that, again, everything is a lesson to be learned. And there's a reason why you connect with people in order to, I believe, improve your soul, get to the next level of soul consciousness. And so that's what she's done for me. And also understand that I create my emotions.
Yes.
I thought 15 years ago that she was creating them. And I now understand that I was creating them then, and I create them now, and I will create them forever. And so I get to choose how to respond in every situation. I don't have to respond in anger. I can respond being calm with grace and ease.
And that's fabulous for anyone, whether they're in business, they're an employee, an employer, or that's valuable advice for absolutely everyone. We can hear things and we can make up what it means. And since we can make up any meaning we choose.
Correct. Yeah.
So now I believe people are going to want to get a hold of you and learn more from you, like the program you spoke about. Tell me if there's a valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will further their movement in making more money or learning what you do.
We talked about this already, and I mentioned in the testimonial, a lot of people have some worries about money or that there's this conflict. So I have this free video called How to Ease Your Money Worries. Ease Your Money Worries. So there's two ways to get it. You can just go to my website. You see it over my shoulder here, SALAUR MOR.com. That's Sal Laura Moore, named after my daughters. Lauren, Laura for Lauren, Moore for Morgan. So SA for my first two letters of my last name, Sal Laura Moore. But the other way is you can text to the number 66866. Oh. That's 66866 prosperity. And it'll ask for your email, and you'll automatically get emailed that video, how to ease your money worries.
Oh, terrific. Well, I didn't have the information about the text. I'm going to add that to our show notes. So Great. When people see the video and they go to the show notes, they can text you as well. It's terrific. This has been a great interview, a very valuable interview for my listeners. And so, Joel, I want to thank you for being on the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Thank you for having me, Rennie. This has been a really extreme pleasure. It's a big honor, and I'm so grateful for you to have me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Joel. And to all of those who are listening, if you'd like to know how books, movies, and society programs you to be poor and what the cure is, then log on to wealthonanyincome.com/TEDx. You'll hear my TEDx talk and can request a free 9-step roadmap to complete financial choice and philanthropy, and receive a weekly email with tips, techniques, or inspiration around your business or your money. And if you'd like to see how you can increase your wealth and donate to the causes that touch your heart, please check out our affordable program, Wealth with Purpose, also on the Wealth on Any Income website. To my listeners, thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the Wealth on Any Income podcast on your favorite platform, and please rate, review, and subscribe. Until next week, be prosperous. Bye-bye for now.